Warren stood on the beach by Malintev's docks. He gazed at the brilliant water that sparkled in sunlight. Mark was at the library, and David was checking out the church. He knew from the beginning that his two partners were different. Pretty soon he found out they were Christians. And Warren certainly didn't mock Christianity, unlike others he might, but for some reason, he didn't feel like becoming a believer. And here he was, admiring Dittrus's handiwork, and doing so made him feel... I had trouble with this word yesterday. Heretical? Heretical? It's like heretic, but AL at the end. I don't even know if that's a word. Because when I, back then I probably would have made up words or something. Actually, no, back then I was very fond of using the dictionary and thesaurus to find words that were not exactly in most people's normal vocabulary, because I was obsessed with not using the same word, like, too close together. And I mean, I still sometimes can be that way, but not to such an extreme where I have to find some weird word combination, which comes up later in here. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, for some reason, he didn't feel like becoming a believer. It's just, this feels kind of, what's the word that I'm looking for? It feels kind of, like, forced. It doesn't quite fit in nice and smooth with the rest of the story. Is what I'm getting anyway. What do you guys think? You guys can tell me in the comments. The flood of... The flood of thoughts was damned by the appearance of a pair of luminous crocodile eyes. I laughed at that yesterday because the first thing I read was obviously the other D word, and so I was like, okay, but no, it's damned as in, like, the beaver dam, but whatever, it's still, for some reason, it cracks me up, and I don't know why. Call me immature if you will, I found it funny. I don't know why. So, that's just, this is my weird sense of humor. Warren remembered them from the cave entrance to Malinthip. The creature pulled itself up into the sand. It was navy blue, with a crimson underside. The body was large and eel-like, with several fins. 4 tentacles in the back to help propel it. I also was bad at descriptions, as you can probably tell. I felt like they were just, like, I had to include them, so they were kind of bland and boring and weird, like this one. So, yeah, my descriptions have hopefully improved. If they haven't, I think I might be in a little bit of trouble. The blue orbs blinked slowly at Warren. He reached down and rubbed the scaly skin. Tell me honestly, if you met a monster, like one of these crocodiles just pulled itself up onto the beach, what would your first instinct be? Would it be to pet it? Just, oh man, you're such a good animal, please don't bite my hand off. That wouldn't be my first reaction, just saying. I'd probably be like backing away or something. A purring made it from the crocodile. Ah, that hits the spot, it said. Warren jumped back. Whoa, I didn't know you talked. Well, I guess you do now. Name's Twesco. Male. Okay, first of all, Twesco sounds like a candy bar. Hey, do you want a Twesco bar? Let's go to the dollar store and get us a Twesco. That sounds delicious. And the fact that he has to specify he's a male, it's kind of strange. You'll see why. Let's see. He saw Warren's quizzical look. Everyone asks for our genders. I keep saying males have deep voices, females have a higher pitch. If you can't tell what my gender is, then how on Eridor did you get access to join the army? Wow, I was great at humor back then. Obviously, I've improved, as you can tell by this vlog. Oh, maybe. I don't know. But, I mean, like, this is just doesn't, it's not humor that works. It's just random and strange and I don't know. Especially in, like, this day and age with all these gender issues and whatever, it just feels even weirder. Obviously, this wasn't my perspective back then, but now it just seems really, really weird. Like a really strange joke. It's not even a joke. Laughter escaped the tall soldier. He felt as if he needed something to laugh about. It's a pleasure to meet you, Twesco. The pleasure is mine, Sir Warren. And I'm not exactly a knight yet. There was a silence. How long does the silence have to be? Staring contest. Oh, we're going by blinking, man. I already lost. I think that's long enough silence. Don't you think? Probably enough to be awkward. Maybe I'll have to cut that out during editing. So you guard the entrance, correct? Twesco flashed a toothy smile. Yes, I guard the entrance. You're right. Watch how I do it. The crocodile made a little pocket sound. I don't know, that's the kind of sound he makes, babies. Puff, puff, puff. And long, deadly spikes shot out of his body. Are we talking like actually shooting out, like they're going like they're projectiles, or they're just like extending out of his body? Because we're about to survive large hits, I would think something more like heavy damage would, or whatever, would be more appropriate. We propel ourselves at enemy ships to smash them. We can also jump into the war watercraft. See, this is what my problem was. Because I just said ships, I couldn't use it again. So I have to say something stupid like war watercraft. That if you read it really fast, it'll be like what I just said, like watercraft, or warcraft, or watercraft. I don't know. We can, when I do so, I roll down crushing and breaking things. Or evildoers, for that matter. Good to know. Good to know. Warren nodded and stared off. Twesco interpreted the brewing trouble and said, "What's on your mind, son?" I don't think I'd want a pufferfish, eel, crocodile, octopus combination to call me son. It's a little bizarre, in my mind. Two things, Warren sighed. First, it kind of feels wrong to be assisting the good guys, or the good side, and not be a Christian. Did anyone specifically say the good side was Christian? I mean, that's how I portrayed it in the story, obviously. You know, I got the rebels, and I got the monsters, and all the good guys are Christians, but again, it feels kind of awkward. Not awkward as in, like, the normal sense, but it fits awkwardly is what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't work. It just feels unnatural. There we go, that's what I mean. Unnatural. It's unnatural. It's not awkward, it's unnatural. Ah, said Twesco in an understanding tone. You know, it's very likely that the three wise men were astrologers. Warren jolted, mouth open. You gotta be kidding. No joke. And if this is true, then God led them to his son using something they studied. A star. Twesco's head bobbed up and down excitedly. Yes, God isn't afraid to use non-Christians, Warren. He has a purpose for you. But soon enough, you'll have to make your choice. Your second thing is... Okay, I'm gonna quickly comment on this. Because I did yesterday. Just, again, besides the whole awkward thing, like, how or unnatural. It's just, like, Twesco technically shouldn't know about this stuff. Because I don't think he's read the Bible. He's, whatever... I called him before eel, pufferfish, eel, crocodile, octopus. So, I mean, he technically should know about this stuff, and it just feels very random. Another random fact to shove in there to try to give a point, but it comes off as being not even preachy, per se. It just doesn't... Whatever. What I'm trying to say is, I'm a lot better now at including, like, this spiritual side of things in a more organic way than I was back then. Because it felt like it was, like I'm doing, like, an organ transplant or something, and it just, when I put the new organ in, then it just doesn't work with everything else in the story and comes off as just whatever. It comes off as something. And your second thing is, I have a nasty Peak. I think it's peak. Because, you know, you pique my interest. So I think it's peak. And then I see peak wall in my gut. It sounds kind of bad. You feel it too. Tosco swiveled his head, then stopped. Warren followed his line of vision to see a man wearing a ragged brown cowl walking toward the pair. Warren remembered how on the ship entering blah blah blah. I can pronounce my own made-up names too. Warren remembered how on the ship entering Malanthiv, Smith has said something about Bronco. In case you don't remember, he said, well, I double-checked yesterday, that they are like fond of humans, but they can sense when, you know, there's a Veracle around posing as a human. He leaned close to Twesco. Is that a Veracle human? Yeah, Veracle are shapeshifters. Didn't Xander teach you that? Warren shook his head, and Twesco groaned. I have got to talk to that boy. I almost included the meme there, but I won't this time. That boy? Well, now I have. I have got to talk to that boy. Do you know the way? That's gonna really date my video, including old memes like that. Well, not old, but in the future they'll be old. You know what I mean. No, never mind. We're gonna skip past the memes because I don't think my vlog needs memes. Maybe. The stranger looked to see the targeted duo eyeing him. He growled throatily. How else do you growl? Do you growl like footily or chestily or whatever? Last time I checked, you always make sounds in your throat. So saying that he growled throatily, I mean, obviously that's saying that it's more of a deeper growl, but it also feels kind of redundant. He growled throatily, then morphed into a spider that stood as tall as a human. There were 10 legs and eyes lined his body shell. Poison dripped from humongous fangs. Okay, so this is obviously not your normal spider, and I don't think I want to face off with a spider that's the size of a human. So imagine if there's like a spider sitting right next to me, like the same height as me. No thank you. I would run as fast as I can in the other direction. Unless it's Spider-Man. I mean, but he's obviously not an actual spider, but Spider-Man's cool. I have a cool Amazing Spider-Man 2 poster. So, yeah, that was a great movie. Well, that's aside from what we're talking about. Yellowish gray poison. Gel, the stuff that killed Prince Joshua. You know, that good old stuff that melted his bones so that his heart could get stomped on. That beautiful stuff. The spider charged, and Twesco yelled, Run, Warren, run! No, there wasn't the second run, but I had to glue it because, you know, Flash reference. Too late. The arachnid was already leaping. Twesco lurched forward in an attempt to stop the Veracle, but he was going to still make it. Then a tentacle snagged onto one of the spider's legs, causing it to fall to the ground with a thump. Warren thundered off. Well, he's obviously not the Flash, because if he was the Flash, he would have lightninged off. Ha ha ha. That wasn't actually that funny. Don't laugh. If you laughed at that joke, then I think we both have poor senses of humor. Following Twesco's urgent orders, he looked back to see the Veracle change to a smooth, large boulder that defied the physical laws by rolling up the slight rise. Okay, well, at least we're acknowledging that it's breaking the laws of physics. Because, obviously, unless it had enough momentum, it wouldn't go rolling up a slope. The American poured his energy into the run. See, again, with the whole, I'm not using the same words, because I used his name, I now have to call him the American, which normal people, they wouldn't see themselves as that way. Like I mentioned before, he's a tall guy. Like, you don't think of yourself in that way. It breaks the intimate point of view. Poured his energy into the run, sensing the boulder close in. Ooh, the boulder was close in. I thought it would have been closing in, but I guess not. He was just close in. He pictured himself in a brown fedora and leather jacket with a bullwhip and shoulder bag slung on his side, and grinned. So, apparently I thought that I couldn't say the name Indiana Jones because that's obviously who I'm referencing, and had to just list off all his costume accessories, which sounds kind of lame at the end because it makes it way longer than it needs to be. So, didn't work. He was going to make it, or so he thought. The Rock was at his heels. Not The Rock as in Dwayne Johnson, I mean, because I don't know what would be worse. If Dwayne Johnson was chasing you, or a boulder. I mean, well, Dwayne Johnson seems like a nice guy, So he probably would be running to, I don't know, give you an autograph. I don't know if he hugs people, it's running to hug you. But yeah, I probably want Dwayne Johnson chasing after me in a giant boulder. Because at least, you know, if it was Dwayne Johnson, then I could try to reason with him because he has a brain and The Rock doesn't. It's my logic. The Rock was right on his heels, and right before it crushed him, the Virago transformed to his original form. He swung the stone punch to Warren's head. The man collapsed, only to remember the Virago hissing, "Now you have fallen prey to Sen." Yes, I included 2 S's because, you know, like I mentioned in my other post, it's Loch Ness, so I did Heckhall, or however you say his name, and Sen. They add the S to the beginning. I don't know what I was thinking in naming these characters sometimes. It was pretty bad.